Hello Motor Rider World fans, and welcome to this Paddock Talk, talking the San Marino GP in Italy, Friday, day one. In fact, it pretty much kicked off during the week. Where it was a really busy week for MotoGP, and certainly the transfer window and the rider lineups being announced. Obviously heading into the weekend, first real big announcement is Enea Bastianini was confirmed alongside Pecco Bagnaia in that factory Ducati squad. And certainly at the track already today, we saw with the performance with Enea Bastianini, fastest rider today, he looks like the smiley, happy rider again that he was at the beginning of the year, before this whole tussle between him and Jorge Martin that Ducati had forced upon them to go for this factory spot had kind of started. So he looks more relaxed, looks like, his future's sealed, he's ready for this factory ride, and he's just riding a bit more free at the moment, and it proved it today. Happy, smiley, and a happy rider. I've said it all along. Look at Maverick Vinales is a fast rider. So Enea Bastianini looking really good and happy that he's sewn up that full factory Ducati contract. Another big announcement, kind of as we expected, Miguel Oliveira and Raul Fernandez being announced in the new RNF Aprilia team for 2023. Miguel Oliveira and Raul spoke in a press conference on Thursday talking about their moves. Miguel Oliveira just saying, he's got to get himself out of his comfort zone and take on this new challenge. And I agree with him. He's made a big, bold step, leaving the full factory KTM and the power that is the Red Bull money and the KTM money. And it was a bold decision. There's no doubt about it. I think that relationship had kind of started fizzling out towards the beginning of this year already. I think Miguel started maybe questioning the project and that. And as soon as you start doing that with the likes of KTM, there's no coming back from that. But I think Miguel's KTM have got to thank him for everything he's put in, not only in the MotoGP project, but from Moto3, Moto2. It was a big decision for Miguel Oliveira. He was talking about that comfort zone, and it has been a nice big comfort zone within that KTM team, but he needed something new. Time waits for no man, as I've said in MotoGP. The years are going by, and he didn't want to wait another year, 2-3 years, maybe development more with KTM before they can potentially offer a championship contending package. The Aprilia ride came up and he snatched it with both hands. So I'm excited to see Miguel Oliveira on that RNF Aprilia. I think he's gonna do well. I'm just hoping the team can give him the bike and the setup and the data and everything that he needs, because as I said, and I feel bad saying it because they've been so accommodating to me, but from what I've seen from the RNF team this year, they're a little bit lacking in terms of giving their riders the proper setup. I don't think they 100% confident in the decision makings that they do when it comes to setup and data and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can manage that Aprilia package, and how much support they're going to get from Aprilia, because I think if Aprilia come in with all their techs and technicians and data guys and all that, I think that'll make a big difference, because very much, and what was the deciding factor for Razlan with Yamaha is when you're a customer team with Yamaha, you're very much a customer. You are literally just a customer. And Razlan, Tech 3 also had the same Hervé Poncharal. That's why they kind of ended that relationship with the Yamaha customer base, because you just don't get as much support as you should. You are a customer. I think RNF and Razlan looking forward to more factory support, and I think they'll get it from Aprilia. Aprilia just now have to deliver, make 4 more full factory Aprilia bikes available, all the spares, all the resources, all the technicians. So it's a big project. It's an exciting project, but it's a big one. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. Raul Fernandez, to me, is still a question mark. I don't think he showcased himself very well at all as a MotoGP rider this year. Remy Gardner came out on Thursday, and he also kind of just got the whiplash from KTM. Came out saying that they said he's hasn't been professional enough, and he's very disappointed. The KTM treating riders badly strikes again. And I can see it from both ways. I can see how Remy, Moto2 world champion from last year, gets 1 year in MotoGP and kind of gets the boot. I can understand that it is harsh, and I do agree with him. Same with Darren. These guys need time, but MotoGP waits for no man. But at the same time, I can see it from KTM's side. From the first race in Qatar, Remy Gardner was throwing his toys out the cot. Firstly, about Darren, this rider who came from Moto3 on a Yamaha, an old Yamaha, and was already dicing with Remy, and then the first thing he does is complains about this Darren passing him around the outside, inside, cutting him off and that. So it already started then, and then he hasn't at times been very professional with what he said in the press about KTM and how he's handled himself. And Raul's another classic example of that. Raul has got the best out of this whole situation because he's been the worst protagonist and he's landed his bum in butter with the RNF Aprilia ride, whereas Remy and Darren have been caught out by the Suzuki basically taking two bikes out of the equation, and those are the two riders that have been on the chopping block and been left out. So I do feel for Remy because a Moto2 World Champion should mean a lot more than just one season in MotoGP. But at the same time, I can understand like KTM, again, I was talking about the Oliveira, KTM want suit and tie, kind of, the brand binder. If you believe in our project, you believe in us through the good and the bad. And Remy and Raul, when it was bad, they would quite happily come out and say it. So that's what KTM were talking about, the unprofessional side. And I agree with them. Remy many times was very unprofessional. So it looks like Remy Gardner's only options is Moto2, which doesn't look like he wants to go back to. It seems like he wants to get out of this MotoGP paddock and head to World Superbikes. Certainly if you look at Iker Lecuona, who's found himself a nice home in World Superbikes on the Honda bike, looks like Remy Gardner wants to do that with potentially the factory Ducati seat in place of Ruben Rinaldi. And we know the last time Ducati in World Superbikes had a Australian on their bike, it went really well with Troy Bayliss. So let's see how the whole Remy Gardner thing plays out. But a potential move to World Superbikes looks like it's on the cards. I think he's got limited rides. It's only really that Ducati ride that's really any kind of substantial ride that's available there. Otherwise, Moto2 also is not looking great. There's not a lot of seats available there. I went through the list with Darren today while we were watching on screen. There's the likes of Guevara, Garcia, Foggia, all wanting to come up from Moto3 into Moto2. And there's not enough bikes available there. So I do worry also for Darren. Nothing's been signed, sealed, or delivered there. I know they're working hard at trying to secure a Moto2 ride, but no news to report on that front yet, which is a little bit disappointing because, with my fanboy cap on, I'm going, I want this sorted out. I want Darren to stay in the paddock and, be on a competitive Moto2 bike and really show his true talent. And from a journalistic point of view, it's also, realistically, where's the guy going to go? So, yeah, Bob Moore, his manager, has got his work cut out for him. There's no doubt about it. He is in the paddock. I've seen him running around plenty today, so the work is being done. So fingers crossed Darren can get a good ride there. Let's hope he can seal something there. So that basically just leaves LCR, the second rider in the LCR team, to kind of be decided. Looks like it's going to be Ayagura, especially if he wins the Moto2 World Championship. He'll make the step up in place of Taka Nakagami. So it looks like that move is going to happen. VR46 is another question mark, but pretty much going to be Luca Marini and Bidzeki. I'm sure that's going to be announced any day now. And then the second seat in the new Gas Tech 3 team. And it looks like, from what I can see and hear in the paddock, that is going to be Augusto Fernandez taking Remy Gardner's spot alongside Paulo Spargo in that new Gas branded KTM team. Basically, it's a KTM, but it's Gas. So yeah, that was big news heading into the weekend before we even got into Friday. Friday, big news from today is Marc Marquez had a day out on a CBR 600, and he is going to be heading to Misano tomorrow, Saturday. Well, he's already here, came Friday evening, and he'll be at the track on Saturday. So good. I'm excited to see Marc Marquez at the track again, to be honest. And he's going to be giving the testing a go. So Tuesday, Wednesday, they've got the official test at Misano. It's the first test of the new 2023 prototype machines. And from day one, it was said that Marc made the decision at Mugello that he could prepare himself for this test, because if he has the slightest of chance at going for the world title in 2023, he's got to be on that new prototype from day one, so he can get a look and a feel for it and really be part of that package from day one. So that's always been kind of the plan, and it looks like the plan's paying off. So Marc Marquez will be at the test Tuesday and Wednesday to test out this new Honda prototype. Staying with Honda, also big news, Emilio Alzamora, Marc Marquez and Alex Marquez have terminated that long relationship. 15 years or something that they had as manager. This new Garcia guy from Red Bull Spain, he's the new manager for Marc and Alex. So there's these big things happening, not only personally with the Marquez guys, with Alex moving to Cressini and Ducati, and Marc coming out and saying, the Honda project's failing. Takeo Yokoyama, the technical director of HRC, looks like his job's on the line. He's going to be leaving his job. So, yeah, it looks like Marc Marquez's words have certainly fallen on the ears of Honda, and they have got to produce now. Otherwise, they will lose their 8-time world champion. They will lose Marc Marquez if they don't do something. So heads are rolling at Honda, and it's going to be a crucial period for them now, and certainly next season. So it was vital that Marc Marquez got on that bike. What kind of condition is he in? Obviously nowhere near 100%, but clearly in enough of good enough condition to climb on a bike. Is it bad management again, coming back too early? We've seen this before. Should he wait? But he can't wait. He needs to be on that 2023 bike to be at the head of the project, so he's not rocking up to the test at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, and already on the back foot compared to everyone else. So it's a big decision from Marc Marquez and Honda, and let's see how it plays out. Very interesting. And I said, remember, I was talking in my last show about seeing and hearing Takeo Yokoyama and Alberto Puig speaking about how could Mark say the project's failing, and both caught by surprise. And it looks like Yokoyama is going to be the head that's going to roll with regards to that. So a lot of news, a lot happening in the paddock, no doubt about that. Exciting Friday, a very, very hot Friday in Misano. It was excruciating, the heat. It really was so hot at the track today. Thunder showers expected tomorrow, but only late in the afternoon. Qualifying could be affected by some rain. As for Sunday as well, late afternoon, but it's literally like these 10-minute massive downpours, and then it gets humid and it dries up pretty quickly, or at least that's what happened on Thursday. But many people say that's very much what happens here at Misano. So we could have a mixed condition kind of qualifying, but certainly FP3 is going to be dry, FP4 potentially dry, which is crucial for Sunday race day, and then we could have this dodgy kind of qualifying session, which could make it exciting. But from Friday, a very hot Friday, it was Anea Bastianini, as I said, looking happy, loving life on top spot there, ahead of Pecco Bagnaia, who had a crash. Very eventful day for Pecco Bagnaia. And then in FP1, got his time wrong, thought he had seen the checkered flag and was cruising on the race line, nearly got taken out by Alex Marquez, and was cruising on the race line basically, and has been handed a 3 grid spot penalty for Sunday's race. So if he qualifies in pole position, that means he'll line up 4th, which is the second row. So crucial qualifying for Pecco Bagnaia. We know he's got the speed, we know he's got the machine under him to make those passes. Even if he qualifies 6th with that penalty spot, he's got the machinery and the pace around Misano to make it work. If it's dry, that's going to be the big curveball. Jack Miller looking happy and fast, right in the mix there again in 3rd place. Zarco making it a Ducati wipeout of the top 4. Fabio Quartararo in 5th, watching him at the side of the track. That turn 8, that tight kind of double apex right hand onto the back straight. Fabio Quartararo is by far the fastest rider there. He makes the track so short there and cuts it so tight, spends very little time with it cranked over, and then stands it up and shoots out of there. So yeah, Fabio just once again riding the wheels off that Yamaha, going through those fast right-handers off that back straight. I watched up close and personal there today. It is so scary to see how those MotoGP riders go through there so fast. Even the likes of the Suzuki test rider at the back, it's so impressive to see these riders in full anger, just flying around that track. It is so impressive. Pecco Bagnaia is certainly the fastest man through that fast section. And that's where a lot of the time gets made up. Darren found a second just from that sector today, just carrying that extra corner speed. But you need a bike that's stable and able to turn, and that's something that Darren is battling a little bit with. He was 24th today, 2 seconds off the fastest time, which is not bad. Again, just a learning curve in that. 1 or 2 little setup issues, just wants a little bit more front end stability, but a good solid job again from Darren today. Remy Gardner and Ralph Fernandez, remember they had that extra day test last year for Tech 3 KTM, so they've got that extra day over Darren, and Darren was a couple tenths off them. So good job from Darren, good first day, hoping for improvements on Saturday. Just a little bit more front end stability and setup there, get him through that fast section a little bit better, and under hard braking is where he certainly is battling the most. Maverick Vinales, first of the Aprilias in 6th place. We know how he loves Misano, and he's looked really good all day as well. So yeah, the Aprilia's right up there, 6th, 7th just behind him. Malaysia Spargo, Jorge Martin in 8th, the not so happy Martin that didn't get the factory Ducati ride. How's he going to bounce back from that? And then Marco Bezzecchi in 9th, and Franco Morbidelli in 10th. So better performance there from him. If there's any track that Franco's going to shine at, it's got to be his home track, the track he loves so much, Misano. And he put in a good performance today, but it was a 1 lap. Watching him on the track, it still doesn't look 100% comfortable. Still certainly nowhere near what Fabio Quartararo is doing. He went out with Fabio Quartararo in FP2 for a couple of laps, and within 4 laps, Fabio had pulled 2-3 seconds on him, and his lines are a little bit different, actually way different compared to what Fabio is able to do. So certainly has to adjust his riding style kind of more towards Fabio if he wants to make that Monster Energy Yamaha work. Brad was in 13th. They had a day of trying lots of new components and parts on his KTM, some good, some bad, so just trying to find a balance. But same thing with Darren, it's just time. There's just not enough time to try all these things and perfect them, and then you don't spend a lot of time on new tires, so you're trying these things all on used tires. And so yeah, the ruthless world that is MotoGP continues. But Brad, again, just positive, headstrong, ready for a strong Saturday. Hopefully FP3 says his pace is really good. He just couldn't put it together on day one. So let's hope he can find a little bit more, get himself inside that top 10, ready for Q2, hopefully. And Darren as well, just looking for a little bit more improvement. So yeah, an entertaining and boiling hot day, first day, Friday in Misano. Absolutely love the place. And lots happening in that MotoGP paddock. Looking forward to Saturday, so stick around and keep a lookout for my Saturday paddock talk from a very warm and could be stormy Misano track in Italy.